here's a quick tip that will show you how to smarten up the pages in your Bobble app, make them look more consistent and more uniformed. So you can see here that I have a page set up and the background is set to a light grey, and it doesn't exceed the width of the page, which I've set to this value because I've ticked this element, or maybe if you've created the page, this row here might already be ticked. So if we untick it, we're already a step closer to having our page look more consistent and more uniform. So let's build up a header and give an example of some page content that's going to go in here. So let's make my header height 60, put it right in the top corner and all the way across. And then so it stands out, I'm going to make my header white. And if we have a look at that, you'll see my header is centered, but that doesn't look that neat or tidy. So I then make sure my header is not fixed width, and there you can see it now expands right to the edge. But let's say I want to be able to contain the content of my page. To do that, you would place another group in here. Now, I know that my page width is 1240, and I know that I want a 20 pixel margin as a minimum down the side of my page content, so that once it's shrunk all the way down to mobile, I'm not going to have text touching the very edge of the screen. So I know I can make this width, that value 1200, and then I'll line it in the center, and I'll get 20 pixels. You saw it, there we go, 20 pixels down either side. So this isn't fixed width, but it is going to be max width. And I'll put some items in here to really show off the effect that that has. So imagine this is the logo. And because I'm using a container, I can put this right to the edge. There we go. And then let's put in the beginnings of a navigation. Dashboard. Settings. And I'm going to put one more in there. Call it profile. So let's have a look at it in the responsive engine. You'll notice I'm still using the the traditional responsive engine. I've not upgraded to the beta yet. So no matter how wide the page gets, my content is contained within the maximum width, 100% of this container. To further illustrate this, let's add some content to the body of the page. Let's say this is our main header on the page. Okay, now here I'm lining it up with the edge, but because it's not in a container, it's going to appear out of line with the imaginary line that I want drawn down the edge of my page. So what I can do is I can put this in a group, and a quick way to do that is to right click on it and say group element. Now I'm working with a group. I can drag the group out to mimic the container that I've got in my header and apply the same settings of 100%. And there you can see I have the beginning of a nice straight line going down the edge there. So let's imagine this is a dashboard. So I now have this section here, and I could rename this to body, just so that it clearly stands out on my element tree. And let's say I was going to put some charts or something in here. Just make it look nice. There you go. You see, I've got a nice straight line down my left hand and my right hand side, and no matter how big the page is, my content doesn't end up getting too close to the edges. But also, as I begin to shrink it down, you can see it stops at that margin, those 20 pixels that I've allowed, until you get down to a certain size. But that will be something for another video.